24.
Yeah, sometimes you think you've got plenty of time in a game, so you take a little bit of a crazy risk. This goes in the category of a crazy, crazy, crazy risk. Yeah, I'm giving you 3 on that one. But how about on the defensive side of the ball? To see them come out, line up, and decide to go for it there, you figure there's no way we're giving this one up. We're going to turn the ball over for our own offense and get some points out of it.
And they did the first part of that. Now they'll be looking to add those points with great field position. Rodgers to throw on second down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. Olivier Vernon with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, You're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys, but let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to...
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Second and goal from the 2-yard line. Lacey will try again. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. They'll try to run it in. Lacey. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
Okay, Brandon, work with me here. Let's analyze this situation. A touchdown here, that could be the knockout blow in the second quarter. But if they go for it and don't get it, that could bring life to the other sideline.
Boy, a call like this, certainly tougher to make in a Super Bowl, but they'll go for it on 4th down. They run. It's Lacey. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
Incomplete. Will tie the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Now Manning. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And for the 4th time tonight, they're going to take him down, and this time it gets him a safety. So this is now the 4th time in the last 6 Super Bowls that we've had a safety. Obviously, that's strange when you figure during the regular season, on average, you'll see a safety about once every 14 games. So an oddity here, to say the least. Returnable here from the 38.
To return to midfield, I just wish we could open up the heads of the offensive and defensive coordinators, because right now the wheels have to be spinning because things just change. Offensive playbook just opens up, and now on defense, do you play aggressively or do you lay back a little bit to try and calm things down?
Now Rodgers will hand to Lacey. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. See if they stay on the ground for second down. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. Dancing to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. Reminder, coming up at the intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Larry Ridley and the crew in Orlando with our EA Sports halftime report. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his fifth catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Little lull in the action here to go over an offseason storyline. It's kind of interesting. L.A. a couple years ago, they have no teams, and now they're going to have two with the move from San Diego to L.A. What does that mean for the league and for the Chargers?
It seems like an easier transition, doesn't it, than St. Louis when they moved back to Los Angeles.
Less culture shock.
Less culture shock, less, obviously geography, the whole deal. But it's a transition is not going to be easy. Remember, they're going to go play in a soccer stadium, essentially, for at least the first couple of years before they share a stadium with the Rams. So that changes things. Obviously, trying to create an identity in the market they haven't been in a long time. They began as the Los Angeles Chargers, but only played one season as such.
Holding offense.
So holding by the offense, and maybe now got to shift up what you want to do on the playbook.
Yeah, definitely. Change what you're doing in the playbook, but boy, the advantage shifts to the guys on defense, doesn't it? Longer yardage situations, they often become bolder.
Again, they'll throw with Manning, and this is going to be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. On the ground, this is Lacey. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down. On second down, here's Rodgers. Being chased out left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. That brings up third down.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the third in the game. And boy, they really played well attacking the football.
Rodgers going to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
They're going to line up to go for this on fourth down. Rodgers stays on the field. They'll come out in the pistol. They do go for it. It's Rodgers. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. Well, that, my friend, I guess is the definition of a head-scratcher. Fourth and long, this stage of the game. What were they doing?
I just have to believe that he looked at the situation, still in the first half, decided if there's a time to be aggressive, now was it, because there's still time to make up for it if things don't go right. Of course, a lot of questions on this one, and look, I want to go for it as much as anyone.
But fourth and long?
Yeah, I don't think I would have there. That one seemed a little bit on the irrational side.
Fans might be a little angry at that one. Do you seriously just skip the halftime of the Super Bowl? Who does that? It's a Super Bowl. Watch the halftime show. All right, here we go. Third quarter action now. This will be taken very short. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, that's the desired outcome coming out here in the second half of being able to run the football and establish a little bit of pace and maybe even a bit of dominance at the line of scrimmage. and they want that to continue. Way too early to think about this being ball control time, but the way they're running it, you got to think they may want to continue that and see if they can go ahead and grind their opponents into submission.
Give them 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn them a fresh set of downs. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Rodgers going to give to Lacy on the draw. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Partner, I know that play didn't work very well, but an old New York Giants quarterback taught me a lesson a long time ago. Sometimes running the draw actually takes courage and play calling. You're actually setting something up for later in the game, and just because it was unsuccessful then doesn't mean it won't be successful later. But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Offside. Defense. Still third down.
If they want it first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down. Throwing now is Rodgers. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And there they bring pressure from the inside and they get home.
Yeah, hard to block everyone, isn't it? And on this play, someone did not get blocked. He's the one who got home.
And look at this. It's a fake. And he's going to let it go deep. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. Well, not only did they try to fake it, they put the ball in the arm of their punter, and it didn't work out.
Not the quarterback.
No.
The punter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
risky.
And it's so funny because when it works, genius. When it doesn't work, not so smart.
Not so genius.
In this case, not so genius, but I do admire that he went for it.
It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be a second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Now Manning throwing on second down. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it, and the Packers pick it up. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about any more.
Rodgers to throw on second down. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he is down deep into Giant territory. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 48 yards. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. The pigskin on the 7-yard line now. It's first and goal. They'll run. This is Lacy. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Lacy, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the forced fumble defensively leads to 6 points for the Packers. Not only touchdown number 2 for him, but a big run to boot. However, still trailing.
Still trailing, but not because of his efforts. Boy, he's playing really well, and I love his long speed there, right? Able to get out there and burst all the way to the end zone, and smart enough to keep the ball in his hands and get into the end zone for the touchdown. In 2016, on all levels of football, we're seeing guys drop it before the goal line. What's the rule, Brandon? Run into the goal post.
That's right.
Before you drop the ball. There you go.
And New York set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble And they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it. Past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking. Distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? They come out here in the eye. Now Manning, and the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Nick Perry bringing the pressure again, and that is his third sack here tonight. Well, it was second and long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Now Manning hits his target. The tight end will tie. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They've had to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. The busy night continues for Lacey. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Lacey with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Packers continue to roll. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, and he's got him in the lead. Now another shot here at the PAT. And the lead is now an even 30. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's finished off by a touchdown run coming from Eddie Lacy. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. Manning to throw on 2nd down. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Now a hit and a loose football. And the return will stop right around the 25. And maybe getting a little too cute there on the punt return. Sometimes they forget Paramount holding on to that football.
I really do believe most of the return guys.
After reviewing the play, the look on the field is reversed.
Hey, 626. 319.
They begin the drive with Lacey. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. Sliding out of the pocket. And Rodgers intercepted a third time. A great read, and it's picked off. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
And that's why defensive coaches preach swarming to the football. It's usually going to take more than one guy to get that big man down.
And it did right there. Multiple broken tackles, but they eventually get him down. Here's Jennings. And not much running room. Down to the 32. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first. Third down now following the run.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Holding offense.
And that right there will set him back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and it'll make this a second and long.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Jennings. And a short gain down to about the 33. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Forced out to his left. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be fourth down. 4 yards.
Well, it's not going to be a first down, but that's a nice job of picking up yardage on 3rd and long. Sometimes you just have to take what the defense gives you, and in this case, it wasn't enough to pick up the first down.
Robbie Gould on now to try the field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, a little under 2 minutes to go in Super Bowl 51 from Houston. We're back to crown a champion after this. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They start the drive on the ground with Lacey. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from tilting the rock that much.
So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Rodgers looking to throw. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And they're going to speed things up here. Rodgers now on 1st down. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. Buying time to his left. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
So after a run like that, I will guarantee that the head coach is saying to himself, maybe even over his headsets to the rest of the staff, where was that all game long? We needed that. That's the type of run we planned for going into the game.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They go back to the air here after the INT. Caught by Nelson left side. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Rodgers throwing here. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And this will likely be the last play and wrap things up. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. That is caught at the 7. And the Lombardi Trophy is going back home. The Green Bay Packers are your Super Bowl champions. And when this moment comes,